Hello and welcome to the Dad Whisperer. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Watson. And if you are a dad who wants to be a hero to your daughter and your son, then you've come to the right place. Because each week it's my joy to bring you relevant topics that support that goal. And as the Dad Whisperer, I want you to know that I'm on the sidelines like a coach cheering you on. And with that visual in mind, picture yourself as fathers standing side by side each other, getting ready to run your fathering race this week. And I'm standing on the side saying, on your mark, get set, go. On your mark is the topic or the theme, get set. I'm filling that in with stories and stats. And go is always your one practical action step that you can put into motion this week to be the best dad you can be. Well, today I'm so excited to have what I'm calling a guest coach with me. He's a longtime friend by the name of Jeff Mattson. He's a man I have respected for years, which is my way of saying that he walks his talk, not only as a leader, but also as a husband and a father of two adorable girls who are 9.5 and 11 years old. Jeff Mattson is the co-founder and co-owner of Living Wholehearted, which is a professional counseling and organizational consulting firm in Tualatin, Oregon. He and his wife, Tara, again, longtime friends of mine for probably at least 15 years. And they started Living Wholehearted in 2011 to help leaders live with integrity. And with a team of 11, including professional counselors, a spiritual director, and Jeff is the organizational development principal, Living Wholehearted is a trusted resource for individuals, couples, families, and organizations seeking personal and professional development. But not only do I have Jeff here today, but a special treat is that his 9-year-old daughter, Nevaeh, is joining us. So you are going to get to hear her part of the story from her point of view. Well, on your mark today is activating adventures with your girls. Because Jeff is a dad from the time his daughters were little, has involved them in adventures, and you're going to hear all about it today. Welcome, Jeff and Nevaeh.
Thank you.
Are you happy to be here?
Yes.
Oh, it's so fun to have you both here. Well, I'm so excited, like I said, to have you sharing your story, Jeff, about how you dial in with intention to your daughters. And you know that I focus a lot on older girls. Nevaeh, you're the youngest girl I've ever had join us.
Yes.
So I'm so glad you're here. Well, I know this is going to be a powerful message for dads with younger daughters as well. So I'm glad you guys are here. Well, how about if we get started and we'll just dive into this whole thing. But Jeff, how did you originally get started, even in your mind, before you put it into action, this whole idea of activating adventure in your daughters' lives?
Well, it was my grandpa, Dr. Gerald Bowerly, who inspired a love and a vision, for the great outdoors and enjoying adventures in the wilderness. And as a young boy, Grandpa would he would shake our family tent from the outside, right where my sleeping bag was, and before first light and whisper, "Hey Jeff, daylight in the swamps. Let's go fishing." And so I jumped out of bed, of course, and ran down to the dock, and we'd hop in the boat, and the adventure would begin. And Grandma, she would make sure that we had our peppermint tea and our pastries for the boat ride and the adventure. And when I was in middle school and later in high school, I knew I had to be ready for those spontaneous phone calls from him, where he'd say, "Hey, so how's your grades going?" And of course, I wanted to be ready, so I'd say, "They're great." And they would be. And of course, my folks were in on all this, so he'd say, "Great, let's go skiing then," and skip a day of school. So I thought, oh my gosh, that kind of spirit of adventure is where it all began.
And you're passing on the legacy.
Yeah, trying.
Next generation.
Just like Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, I've heard dads sometimes say they do things with their boys while mom covers the bases with girls. Now, I know you don't have any sons, but how about if you just say a little bit, Jeff, about how you've approached fathering, maybe in teaching your girls things that some might say those are boy activities?
Oh, yeah, you bet. My wife and I are 100% committed to helping our girls grasp the uniqueness of being a girl. And support them and equip them for all the transitions of becoming quality young women. So you bet I was there for that bippity boppity boop boutique at Disneyland where they picked out their princess dresses and were all dolled up by their fairy godmother.
Okay, I have new respect for you. You can even remember that.
It was big. And we made a big deal also about things like getting their ears pierced. Addie, my oldest, has hers pierced. We waited till she was 10, and Nevaeh's going to get her ears pierced later this year. A little early, but
Yeah.
now with my oldest, we're exploring the world of makeup and healthy skin products with her mom, and Yeah, I'm pretty much going to need to get used to that word products, aren't I? So all this
Well
to say,
said.
yeah, it brings me great joy to teach and expose my girls to adventures, skills, and opportunities that, may be more common for dads to do with their sons.
Right. It doesn't matter. We're going to be talking about some of the outdoor things you've done. I love that you just talked about all those, if you will, indoor things, right? Girl world things.
Yeah.
But I love that you have thought outside your house. You've thought about rivers and hunting or fishing or those kinds of things. So we're going to delve into that in a minute. Well, how about to you, Nevaeh? How old were you? I'd love to ask you that. When you first had your adventure with your dad, what was that like? Do you remember?
Yeah. Well, one of the first adventures that I remember having with my dad was about 3 years old, and we would go to the park in our old neighborhood, and we would play this fun game. I would make pretend pizzas, and he would pretend to eat them.
Go, Dad!
We'd make them with bark chips and circle-shaped stools. And we also go on nature walks around the track there and spy on red-winged blackbirds and other bugs and squirrels and animals like squirrels.
I love that you're saying you and your dad pretended together. So maybe if dads think, I can't do an adventure with my daughter, I don't even know what to do, you're saying, just start with your imagination.
Yeah.
Just be creative. Well, Jeff, what impact have you noticed take place in your daughters and in your relationship with them as a result of including them? And let's talk now about outdoor adventures.
You bet. Well, I mean, I love stretching my girls' minds about what they can do and what we can do together, and I didn't waste any time starting them young with age-appropriate experiences, and I learned to make and shoot bows and arrows. Taking
Really?
I'm taking short hikes in the woods, and anytime we could try to find a lake or a river to jump in, we'd go for it. 1, 2, 3, here we go.
Yeah.
And the feeling of cold water is something that will bond a memory like nothing else. So I'd bring the girls, in also with me on things like, just simple stuff like even changing our family car's oil once a year or something. Just learning the stuff. And when we had to, we got a dog and we build a doghouse together and learn how to do stuff like use power tools. That kind of thing.
Oh, power tools. Oh, my goodness. That's going to ring true for a lot of dads. You've also told me, Jeff, that you had some specific goals when doing these kinds of activities, which one of them you told me was about activating their 5 senses. How about you say more about that one?
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer in activating all the 5 senses as early as possible. So I had the girls in the backpack as soon as they could support the weight of their own heads. And, with me, while I was casting flies to wild fish, even if I was only ankle deep in the river. And
you were on, like, in some kind of a holder? Like he was holding you in a carrier? When you were beansy, like one, would you be out in the water with your dad?
On the backpack.
Yeah.
In the backpack. Look, I can't even remember, like, is it a carrier? That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'd be out there and, I just remember praying, particularly on one river, my first experience, and it was with my oldest, being in the river, saying a quick prayer, God, give me a wild trout so that I could show my daughter what this looks like. And sure enough, he did it. First cast even. Bringing that fish in and talking all about what it looked like, and then setting her down in the water, in the backpack, just so her toes could feel it all. And then holding that fish up and letting that little hand touch that slimy, gooey fish and just experiencing the beauty of it. And, even then, just talking a little bit about everything. What do you notice about the spots on this thing? And then releasing that wild trout. That's one of the best days of my life.
Really? Do you remember that?
Honestly,
really?
I was
One.
very young, so I don't know if I do or not.
Which maybe is even a cool part of the story, that even when you don't remember what you were doing, your dad was intentional about building a foundation of love for adventure with him.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you said it was one of the best days of your life. I want to go back to that. What would you say made it one of the best days of your life?
Well, doing something that I love so much, fly fishing, but doing it with my little baby girl, who the moment she was born became one of the most important things in my life. She immediately trumped my love for fly fishing. And, my wife would say, that's saying something.
So you put your two loves together.
Yeah.
Your loves for your girls, your love for fishing.
Yeah.
And again, some dads might go, that's a boy thing.
No.
And I can remember, because I moved up to Portland, Oregon when I was 10. So I was in 4th grade, so I'm not far from where you are, Nev. And my dad took me out on the San Francisco Pier to fish in the Pacific Ocean. And I still remember that as the oldest of 4 girls. And even though it was like, ew, these are scaly and it stinks out here, it created a memory of bonding with my dad in doing something that some dads might say, no, I'm going to take the boys fishing. Nevi, would you tell dads, take your girls fishing?
Yeah,
Do it.
I would.
You'd say do it.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, probably because fishing is fun, honestly. And if you can catch a fish, honestly, that's really good. And that'd be really exciting if
Yeah.
it was your first time.
You're saying do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Well, how about you? I want to ask you another question. Is what's your favorite part, Nevi, of having these experiences with your dad?
My favorite part of having these experiences, early adventures and the ones we have today, are probably getting to know him a little better and making memories out and about.
Oh, I love that. So you guys get to know each other while you're just out and about doing an adventure together. Like it's not even planned. It's just spontaneous. The conversations, the twists and turns in the road. I imagine you hike sometimes to get to the river.
Yeah, we go through all these bushes and maybe go up and then go down.
I love that. And you're following your dad's lead now because you don't have to go in the backpack anymore.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you now a harder question. Is there ever a hard part of either doing these adventures with your dad or having him push you in ways that maybe you're like, Dad, I'm not ready for that? Or is there not a hard part?
Well, just this last week, we went on a family camping trip at the North Umpqua, and he asked me, do you want to go fishing in a river? I had gone fishing in many lakes before, but never a river.
Oh.
And so I said, I'll try it. But I was a little nervous. Maybe the river could have swept me away, or I could have let go and fallen. But he was right there holding my hand and talking to me what was happening.
So did that make you less nervous?
Yeah, it made me a little less nervous.
I love it. So your dad helped you build confidence in doing something you were scared of because your daddy was with you.
And we got to our spot and we started casting and we even just randomly hooked a trout and it was right there.
And your eyes got really big when you just said that.
And I asked to hold it and my dad let me hold it and I thought it was all slimy and gooey. And it was. I had caught many trouts before, but
It sounds like it was fun.
it was very special because it was my first time there. But
Oh, I love that.
We had to wade in the river, and that was the tough part. And at the end of it, after all of that, what'd you feel?
I felt really happy and I felt like I kind of got a little braver that day.
Give me some knuckles.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Okay, Jeff, let me go back to you. Another question comes to mind is, during your adventures, as I heard both of you talk, it sounds like there was a lot of talking. Like you're saying, feel the fish. What do you notice about the spots? And I know that a lot of dads may not be as gifted in word acclamation as you are, or not as gifted in, let's say, drawing their daughters out with words. Anything you would say to dads like that say, I don't know if I can quite do what you're doing there, Jeff Mattson?
Oh, yeah. These moments don't have to be long-winded speeches. Just asking questions about, what you're doing together and what you're noticing while experiencing the time together is significant. So I just, think of one main point that you wanted to remember and enjoy doing whatever you're doing together. It's really that simple, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's, in fact, some of the best memories and laughs that we've had come from when things have, got messed up or surprises happened. So if your girls know that you want and like being with them and doing stuff together, that's communicating one of the most important messages you can give them, that they're worth your time and attention. My daddy loves me. And I'm counting on this paying dividends as we head into the teen years soon, that they, know what love and attention from a guy is supposed to look like, and that they are secure in that love.
You are so right. Like you're saying, you're starting the foundation early, before teen years, that we're talking, you're listening, you're spending time together.
And I know that there aren't any guarantees there. That's that's why I, like other dads, am wearing out the holes in my Levi's, asking the man upstairs to help watch over my girls.
That's powerful. Well, Jeff, I also know that, you and I both know kids enter into the world pretty much with personalities set in place. And sometimes I've had dads say, this one likes doing this and this one doesn't like doing that. But it sounds like you've engaged both of your daughters in these adventures with you. What do you say to dads who say, okay, I have a love for the outdoors, but it's not really what my daughter likes?
Well, I know that, kids are definitely different. Everybody understands that. And that's couldn't be more true of my girls. And I try to invite them into activities that not only the things that I love to do, and that was the easiest way of getting this going, but then make a point to let them lead us into different adventures that really light them up individually.
Let them lead adventures. What does that mean?
Well, I'm shooting for the both and there. When they were young and up to about third grade, I could really set anything up 1-to-1, and it was magic. Mm-hmm. We still love sharing those memories and adding new ones on the old standards, like overnight camping trips or fishing or building stuff. And it seems, right about fourth grade is when my oldest and now my youngest, Nevaeh here, who just is there now, each started expressing interests in, totally different things.
Right.
So my oldest had a unit at school, for example, like on pioneer living at the Oregon Trail. And she got so into that she couldn't get enough. So she's a voracious reader as well and has a passion for history. I thought, perfect. I know how to surprise this girl with this year's special date. So we started out at Donut Land and take off.
That's the best start.
Yeah, that is a good start. And
it's only going to go up from, or we should say down from there.
Yeah,
my youngest likes Donut Land too, I can tell right here.
Yeah.
Then we take off for the Oregon Trail museums. I had set up, there's a couple in our area, and then we'd finish off with our favorite Coney Island hot dog stand. So it was like slam dunk. And like I said, Addie, my oldest, loves to read. So, imagine the joy even later that I had when she invited me into a book club that she wanted to create with only 2 members, just the 2 of us. And now we're reading C.S. Lewis, Chronicles of Narnia together, 1 book at a time. And my other daughter, who's sitting right next to me here, Nevaeh, is all about activities and is a big-time kinesthetic learner. This girl, for her date this last year, we walked the 3-mile loop at the Wildlife Bird Refuge. I surprised her with tickets to the Sesame Street Planetarium show at the local science museum downtown. And yep, we're pretty much into Sesame Street together. It's sort of a tradition. And we ended up sharing an early dinner at her favorite, yes, the Spaghetti Factory. Mm-hmm. And we had to order the cotton candy Shirley Temple.
Ooh.
So we read a little together, but this girl loves doing stuff together. And, I've been a student in her pretend classroom for many years. Sometimes I'm a little naughty. I get my name written on the board.
Does he get trouble? Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, he does.
So those would be some examples of that.
You know what I love, Jeff, just in hearing you say this, and I wish everyone listening could see your face because you've had the biggest smile on your face through this whole conversation, is that adventures can look all different ways. They can be outdoors in a river.
That's right.
They can be hiking, or they can be sitting in a pretend classroom with your daughter, and the adventure is about entering into her world, which stretches you as a dad, because to state the obvious, you wouldn't be doing these things if you didn't have daughters.
Yep, that's pretty much true.
Sums it up. Jeff, I can tell by knowing you and hearing you today, I know you're intentionally focused during your adventures, whatever they look like, of helping your daughters either build character or grow, and you capitalize on teachable moments. Can you say anything more about that?
You bet. Well, one of the special things a dad can do for his daughter is to lead them into fun and exciting shared experiences where they learn how to risk. I want my girls to be courageous. And many dads are naturally good at, stepping out into calculated risk connected to kinesthetic experiences and adventures. Because as boys, it was commonplace for many of us who had brothers especially to be challenged to overcome challenges and obstacles by just being boys and playing hard. That's important to me. I want my girls to get this. And last weekend even, on our family camping trip to the North Umpqua, and I was excited to share 2 different adventures with my youngest Nevaeh here. First, she received her first pocket knife, and I had been waiting to give that to her.
You have the biggest smile on your face.
She's 9 and, going into 4th grade, but I've been waiting to give that to her for over a year, and I purchased it several months ago. She watched her older sister receive her first pocket knife, which for her happened to be the one that I got when I was a boy, my Swiss Army knife. And now Nevaeh, she'd been working on growing in her responsibility and handling things like scissors and kitchen knives appropriately. And, I've been watching. And she knew that one day it would be her turn. And her eyes lit up. She had no idea she was getting it this last week. We went over the basic rules and appropriate uses of a knife. Mm-hmm. I showed her how to use it, what not to do, so that she could feel confident about it. And my girls thought it was pretty neat when they learned that they were the only girl in their class that owned her own pocket knife. And only a couple of the boys even had one.
What was that like for you, Nev? You have the biggest smile on your face. What was that like to get a pocket knife, your very first one from your dad?
Well, I was waiting because I had an accident with some scissors a while ago.
So you didn't know if you'd get it quite as early?
But then I waited a really long time, and he finally gave it to me, and I reacted like really excited. I was like, thank you!
You were ready for it. You earned it.
Well, you know what's funny is that reminds me of a story. When I was about 12, our family went camping up in British Columbia, stayed in a tent, and my dad gave me and my sister, she was 10 at the time, our first pocket knife. And I can remember on a camping trip where he taught us how to make a whistle out of a branch, how to kind of whittle it out and put some holes. So it obviously took the entire week of camping to make this thing, but it really was a cool thing as a girl to get a pocket knife. So I love hearing that just happened.
We got that in common.
Pocket knife bearer. That's so cool. Yeah. Well, Jeff, I know we're slowly running out of time. It's going too fast, but you've told me that you've been very intentional also about going deeper and using your adventures to teach your girls about God. Mm-hmm. Can you say anything more about what that looks like?
You bet. Yeah. For me, there's nothing more important than sharing my faith and relationship with God with my girls and who they are in Him.
Can you give me an example? Like you just went camping. What did that sound like last week?
Well, we're out there in the water together, and we're talking and feeling the power of the river as we're wading the river for the first time. Nevi's never done this with me before. Mm-hmm. In fact, even my oldest hasn't yet. And we're feeling that together. And so we're talking about the power of God's creation and also the force of what it feels like to be moved and how we need Him and in order to be able to make it through things that are hard like that. To stand
strong. So you used it like as a metaphor, you mean?
Yeah, just simply saying that God's love is so strong, stronger than this river. But also, you know what? When we feel nervous, because she was feeling nervous when we were doing that, He's right there. And I'm right there holding her hand, trying to show her that that's what He's like, that He's got us. And like I had her, because one of the times your feet swept out and I was holding on to your life jacket, right? Yeah. Talking to you and saying, hey, we got this and we're going to make it and this is where we're going. And did it help?
Yeah. I felt like I wasn't going to die, but...
Because Daddy had you by the bootstraps.
God's always watching.
What would you say? What have you learned about God from adventures with your dad?
God is always there and He's always watching over us. And that He gave us this wonderful creation to play and horse around in.
I love that. You're right. Let's horse around in it. Why not get out there and play? And I love just hearing, Jeff, how you used even the fact that she slipped. Yeah. Like Daddy's got you. Metaphor of God as a father holding us when we slip. Well, I always end with one go step. Jeff, I'm going to give you the last word. If you could tell dads one way this week to begin activating adventure with their girls, even if it's something they haven't done before, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so I would say, dads, tell your daughter that you want to do something with her that the two of you have never done before.
There you go.
That you're going to plan an adventure for just the two of you to share together. And it's going to be a surprise. Give her a date on the calendar and put it in a place where she can see that it's coming and then start planning. It's as simple as that.
Okay, but if a dad doesn't think it's simple, can he get a hold of you? He may need some coaching for ideas. Go to livingwholehearted.com.
You bet.
Oh, I love it. So you'd say, dads, plan a surprise. And maybe if a dad isn't gifted at creating or planning a surprise, could he plan it with his daughter?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, the focus is actually is on making it a slam dunk. And so if planning together makes better sense, do that. But if you want to plan it and create a surprise, surprises are significant as well.
Would you agree, Nevaeh? Surprises are good?
Yeah, But it's really hard to wait for them, honestly.
That's awesome.
I'm like, tell me
I want
now.
it now. But how fun is that? Well, you guys, it's been such a joy to have you here today. On Your Mark has been activating adventures with your girls. You've heard from Jeff Mattson and his 9.5-year-old daughter, Nevaeh. So today, I would encourage you to take Jeff and Nevaeh's suggestions, put them into action so that you can begin to be a dad who intentionally creates adventures with his girls. You can always write me at drmichelle@thedadwhisperer.com. You can go to my website at drmichellewatson.com where I have resources for you there. You can sign up for my Dad Daughter Friday blogs or buy my book. And if you've enjoyed this conversation and want to hear more, you can listen again on iTunes or at my website. I'm Dr. Michelle Watson, the Dad Whisperer, signing off and encouraging you as dads to make today a day where you are intentionally and consistently investing in pursuing your daughter's heart. Go Dads.